Good evening, everyone. If you are watching after the fact, then please do feel free to skip forward to qualifying, as we are just getting everybody else into the lobby and getting ourselves ready to go racing. We'll see you in a moment. Oh, I need to get some water while we're quickly waiting, because I've not actually got... I've not filled my
Oh, yeah,
water up.
definitely get some water.
Oh.
Right, who is missing still? We have 13 out of 17, so still 3 missing. Well, that's one of them. Hi, Rick. Welcome in. So this is the, well, if you're watching on the G Ghost channel, this is the secondary stream where I will be showing exclusively onboards. The main commentary stream is over on stream is over on Sumo's channel, so I would go and watch that first, and only watch mine if you really want to see a particular onboard.
Yeah, that reminds me, I actually need to do the thingy-majig, send it out, and this, that, and the other. I don't even know if I've got a friggin' thumbnail for tonight. Have we raced it? Have we raced in France in Tier 2 before? Because I can try and poach one. We have. I've got one on the back burner.
We are missing 2.
We did it as round 4 for season 1. Back when I was all on my lonesome.
Zuba and Monkey are the ones that are missing.
Monkey.
Wait. I swear Monkey was here. Oh, he is here. Who's missing then? Is it Shelly?
Yeah. I swear, I think, was it I can't remember, there's a couple of people who said they couldn't make it.
SW said they can make it. Sherry and... Zuba's already said, so I'll just ping Shelly.
Edit video.
Hi, One Wing in the chat. It's Sumo's chat.
Hello, Ron Ring. How you doing? Nice to have you. Oh. There we go. Alright. That's that sorted. That's the thumbnail done. And I open that, and then I do a bit of this, and I do a bit of that, and then I go over here, do a bit of this, and a bit of that, and then Control V, enter, done. Look at that. Oh, we're heading to quite a week of for Formula 1. We've got 3 car launches this week, starting tomorrow. But yeah, tomorrow with Red Bull. I don't know what. Do you know what time the Red Bull launches tomorrow?
No idea.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone knows in the chat, please let us know. Be nice. I missed the Haas launch live.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I just kind of saw the pictures of it online, and I was like, oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah. Well, they just turned around and were like, yeah, we're releasing our car today.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Russian flag. That's a surprise.
I actually like it better than last year's car.
Oh yeah, me too. What was I going to say? I'm going to say something that's completely gone. Oh yeah, those side pods are thick.
Oh yeah, they are, aren't they? Interesting to see the rest of the cars. Have Williams announced theirs yet or not?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe they'll be the last to do it. Maybe they'll rock up 3 days late to testing again.
Hello RJ in Sumo's chat. Mate, if you can't make the race, please do make sure to check out, because the fact that you didn't press no on the check-in means you'll get an absence strike. So just press no and avoid that. It's probably he probably forgot because he's not a permanent driver, reserve driver anymore. So
Oh, he's not a reserve driver anymore.
no,
Oh, he took our advice there.
yes. I'm gonna ping Zuba to him.
What, it's 15th of February for Williams, Rick?
Ah. Zuba, please. We're all waiting for you.
Oh, it was announced today. Oh, cool. That's it. That's smart. Oh, wow.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, so sod this week. Next week we get 4 car launches.
Oh, he's fine there.
Have we got everybody, Ghost?
Yep, we've got everyone. Well, except Shelley, but they've had long enough. So let's go.
Oh, pardon me. Oh. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm SUMO, your commentator this evening, and joining me as always is the 3-time sprint champion, Ghost. How you doing, mate?
Hello, mate. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. France is. I mean, in real life, it's not the best track for racing. But in our little virtual world here, it's often a good race. I mean, strategies are all over the place on this track, so that's one thing you're going to have to be watching out for. And of course, the run into, I'm not sure which turn number it is, but that DRS zone into that chicane can be very, very action-packed. So we'll have to see how it goes, but definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, oh, looking a bit overcast as we head into the 5th round of Season 3 Tier 2. We're heading to the south of France to Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. This circuit saw itself back on the Formula 1 calendar in 2018 and has been a circuit that I've enjoyed over its time on the games. But the real-life GP, as Ghost said, doesn't always produce the greatest of races, although the 2021 season is the exception. But anyway, with the season we're having in Tier 2, we're in for a spectacle that I'm sure. There are 15 corners and a circuit length of 5.852 kilometres. The drivers will be driving one of the easiest circuits for overtaking. Is that a fair estimate? Fair insight, Ghost?
Yeah, if you've got the pace. If you're, there are some tracks where if you're level on pace, but if you're behind someone, it's very easy to get past. But here you do need to be a bit faster to get past people, and we saw that in Tier 1 last week. And in Elite, where there were drivers on fresh tyres that were really struggling to stay with and get past drivers on much older tyres. So it can be tricky sometimes. And I'm really interested to see the strategies around here. I know some drivers watch the stream, so I'm not going to say what I think the optimum strategy is until the race start. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of different takes on what the best strategy is today. And safety cars are definitely going to put a spanner in those works if they do come out.
Got some action in the pit lane. We've got a few drivers making their way out. But last week we were in the Netherlands for a very chaotic race which saw 5 safety cars, and Tinoz gained 5 points on his championship rival Ollie Oliver, who will be looking for redemption after last week's shambles. A 3-horse race for the Constructors sees Red Bull, AlphaTauri and Williams fighting it out for the Constructors title with 5 points between the 3 teams. I've said 5 3 times in this little paragraph. It's just a bit of a theme going on here. But these drivers are not failing to provide the entertainment, and tonight we'll see which driver can come out on top before we head into the week's break. Any thoughts on the championship so far, guys?
Well, it's week 5 as well, so
yeah, really pushing in the fives.
Yeah, so what I just said about strategies and it all being really interesting, what they're going to do with the strategies, that's all out the window because we've had inside info that it's going to be a wet race.
Wet race.
So completely ignore everything I just said. They should qualify on the softs, pretty much everyone here. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who can have that ultimate pace, because if it wasn't a wet race, I definitely think we would see some people on the mediums for this qualifying session, but as it is, I don't think there's too much point in that. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, certainly. So we're going to be following the Monkey Mafia as he comes around the final corner now to start his first flying lap of the session. He's going to be opening up that DRS any moment now. There it goes. That rear wing opens up to allow him to get that maximum speed down the straight. He crosses the line and starts the lap into the first chicane. It's a left-right, quick flick to the left, followed by a quick flick to the right, and he want to get the best exit possible. Didn't look like the cleanest of corners, but he's going to come now to a twisty finish to sector 1. He's going to go right, then left, then right again, and into a double right-hand as you're going from sector 1 to sector 2. A very tricky corner to get it just right, as you need to try and carry as much speed as you possibly can. But then into the long straight, the back straight, the first DRS straight as well, all the way down to this chicane at the bottom here, where you need to brake heavy. A good opportunity for overtakes when it comes to race time. It's looking like a fairly decent run through that chicane there, looking for the best exit possible. That outside curb really can, well, inside curb perhaps, but either way, it really can mess you up if you get on their purple sectors. But we're going to ignore that for the first runs of qualifying, then into the fast right-hander, and then into a very long sweeping very tricky corner on the brakes, and there's a lot of different lines you could take through there, but Monkey Mafia takes a fairly standard line as he then comes through the middle part of sector 3. Very twisty technical section, but it's very easy to go side by side racing through here, and Monkey Mafia is making short work of this sector, and he looking for the best exit through the final corner there. Looking a little bit slow on the off-board cameras there, but he's going to run all the way down to the line to set the initial pace this evening. What is the lap time? It's a 1:32.0. Not the fastest lap round here for certain, but there'll be plenty of room for improvement, as I always say, in the qualifying sessions, as Harry Bix is now coming through the final corner to set his lap time, first lap time of the session, and it is going to be a 29.7, so already 3-4 seconds faster than the Monkey Mafia in the Alpine.
Yeah, I was riding on board with Harry Bix while you were on with Monkey Mafia. It did look like a fairly clean lap, but I think it was definitely a little bit reserved. He was trying not to invalidate, which is completely fair enough. On board with LB as he comes around the final corner. Third in the championship currently. He's had some rotten luck so far, and his first lap is a 30.3, so he slots in just behind the Mercedes.
Here comes Pommy Alex, the people's champion. He's finally got a teammate this session, a newcomer. We'll talk about that in a minute. He sets a 1:30.7 with one ring following close behind with a 1:31. And is that Tinoz about to cross the line? No, it was his teammate Hartman of 31.8, a respectable lap from the AlphaTauri. Here comes VK on those medium tyres. He's going up into the 1:31s as well. That's not a bad lap from the Mercedes driver. We've then got, is that Monkey Mafia? He's setting another lap time. He thinks he can go faster, and he does a little bit, but he stays bottom of the current runners at the moment, setting a 1:31.8, identical to Hartman. And before we continue on with this qualifying session, I will give us a shout out to our sponsor for the Tier 2 Championship, which is, of course, Positive Perception Media Design Products. Please do head over to their social accounts, Instagram, Facebook, and go over there and see the GT liveries that they create, because they're honestly the most colourful, vibrant liveries that I've certainly seen, and I always enjoy seeing new posts from them every once in a while. So please do go over and check them out. But we'll carry on with the qualifying session, as I believe our championship leader is about to set his first lap of the night.
Been on board with Crozer. Tinoz goes P3, so not a bad lap from him, but the two Red Bulls with some good teamwork, as Crozer got a toe off LB in the DRS straight, but he will slot in P7 after
Here
a
comes.
rather mellow Sector 3, it has to be said.
Here comes Vardy crossing the line. It's a 1:31.8. Slowest of the current runners thus far, but Vardy, a veteran of APPF1, he'll definitely be looking to set a better lap. That's QB with an invalidated lap time coming across the line now. I think we've got a Mercedes about to cross the line. Is that VK? Yes, it is. He thinks he can go faster on the mediums. Doesn't quite do so. He's on a slower lap. He must have made some sort of mistake through there. But anyway, well, he's not out on track at the moment, so we'll save that for when he's out on track. But the driver out on track at the moment is Madman Ollie Oliver, the contender, the rival for Tinoz this season. Just 5 points behind in P2. We'll ride along with Madman Ollie Oliver then as he makes his way through the first sector.
Yeah, here he comes. The championship challenger indeed. He needs a good result today after the absolute chaos that was Zandvoort last week. By the way, Sumo, last time we came to France in Tier 2 was Season 1, race number 4, and the man on pole that time is the same man that is currently on pole at the moment. So Harry Bix looking for a second French pole in Tier 2.
That'll definitely be something he'll be looking for. He's definitely got the pace at the moment. Nobody quite getting close to him for now. None of the usual candidates anyway. LB and Tinoz has sat on a 30.3 and a 30.5 respectively. And they need to pull a lot out of the bag. They're about 8 tenths. Well, Tinoz is about 8 tenths with LB about 6 tenths away from Harry Bix, who's sat on pole at the moment. But with the current luck of the Mercedes drivers at the minute, can Harry Bix even convert that pole position into a win? We'll touch wood. So
Madman nearly spins it. Sorry to interrupt you. At the penultimate corner, he gets too much on the curb and has to correct. That's going to cost him at least a tenth as he comes up to the line now. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 30.2, and he goes into P2, but still 5 tenths off Harry Bix. You might be interested to know as well, Harry Bix's pole lap in Season 1 was a 29.635, so it's very consistent from the Mercedes in terms of qualifying times.
Yeah, certainly so. We'll go down with one of the McLarens now. So they're about to start a lap, but it's the newcomer. Actually, I think we've got a couple newcomers, or at least...
We do.
Yes, we do. There's the McLaren here of Ialo Mad?
Lalo. It's definitely 2 L's.
Lalo. It's definitely 2 L's? I don't know. Lalo Mad. Joining the People's Champion, Pomianix, is his teammate. He's gone 4 races without a teammate and finally has one now. We'll see how he gets on as he's driving around the circuit at the moment. We've also got FRL Calm Koala, who I believe has been signed on for the races, but hasn't been able to make them until now. So it's nice to see him in that Haas car for the first time this season.
Yeah, he's taken over as QB's teammate after his previous teammate got 3 absent strikes and was thus removed. So Khan Koala looking to get his debut off to a good start, and Lalo Mado, by the way, which I'm now going to continue to refer him as because that's great. He's going around. He was purple in Sector 1. So he's looking quick in the McLaren. He was very wide at one corner though, and just catches the curb a bit too much there, so he's going to lose at least a tenth or two from that corner as he comes round. Is he going to get blocked? No. Thankfully the other cars get out of his way, but it might have caused a distraction as he comes around the final corner now. I don't know where he's going to be, but it looked like a decent time. It's going to be a 31.2, so he slots into P8 for now. That's a decent opener from the newcomer.
And let's ride back on board with Calm Koala at the moment. They're coming through the 3rd sector now, that tricky corner, taking the conservative line, the very bog standard vanilla line through that corner. And he's navigating this twisty section of of Sector 3. Just got to nail those final two corners. There's a lot of time to be found on the last corner, especially if you get the exit just right. And it looks like Calm Koala does so. This is looking like it's going to be a fast lap. Probably not enough to challenge Harry Bix at the top there. But it'll be enough to put Calm Koala up into 9th place, just behind his fellow debutant Lalo.
On the mediums, which is certainly decent for him. I do find it interesting if we ride on board with...
Monkey Mafia up to P6.
Oh, yes. Good lap from him. But, yeah, I'm going to ride on board with Vardy for a little bit, because I just want to talk about a corner that's coming up for him, which I find really interesting, the lines that people take around it. So... this corner as well, but the corner I was thinking about was the next one. So this particular corner, as Vardy's just coming up to, you can either go very wide and then cut back inside, a bit like that. But you can either enter very wide and then cut back inside like the traditional racing line, or you can sort of brake in the middle of the track and then bring the car round and come back round to the outside. I honestly don't know which is faster. I prefer the one where I brake in the middle of the track and then come in through the corner. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see, because there are definitely some different lines I've seen people take around that corner in particular.
Yeah, I think I tend to prefer... well, I mean, the corner just before, I tend to try and... I tend to try and force, especially if I'm racing somebody, I tend to try and force my opponent to try and take the more traditional line, as it's the safer option, as you can really play around with how much throttle and how fast you can actually go through that corner. And then into the next corner, I do prefer the wider line myself. I prefer to the more traditional late apex sort of style through that corner, as I find the apex will spit you out if you do touch it a little bit too much. We're watching VK come across the line at the minute. We'll see what he does. He goes and joins his teammate on the front row with a 29.8. He's just 1/10 off his teammate. Actually, a little bit more, less than that. It's more like what, 200ths of a second? Well,
it's certainly close, regardless. And the two Mercedes very comfortable at the top at the moment. 4/10 clear of anyone else over 4/10, more like 4.5/10. As we've got Vardy coming across the line in the Ferrari. It looks like he's going to improve the 30.8, and he goes to P7 for now.
Let's see who else is out on circuit at the minute. Madman is on his outlap at the moment. We've got Stingray in the Aston Martin too. One ring on an outlap right now. LB's looking like he's on an outlap. How about Crozer? Crozer's just behind this group. He's going to be the next to cross the line. So we shall ride on board with him as he comes through the final corner, down toward the start-finish line now. He's looking to get up there in a bit further in the top 10, but just looking at his timings, it's not a good lap.
Yeah, I'm trying to ride on board with as many people as possible for a full lap, to try and just at least get as many people as possible in the onboard stream. But yeah, I'm riding with one wing at the moment. It looked like a very tentative sector 1, especially through turns 1 and 2. It's a very scary set of corners, turns 1 and 2. If you try and take it very fast, you're in great danger of either spinning or invalidating. So I don't blame him, but he does invalidate through there.
Man, sets fastest sector 2, so he's lighting up those timing screens. I'm not sure what his sector 1 is. Well, I have to try and see if we can see how far he is up on his time. It's not going to tell me. It'd be cool if I could see how far he was up, like an active delta. That would be cool to have. I think they have that in real F1 commentary. I don't know. It's been a while.
What was that?
Like an active delta for...
Oh, yeah. That would be great.
That'd be a great little feature.
LB goes very wide, tries to take too much out of turns 1 and 2.
Oh, it's a 29.807, the exact same lap time as VKTFO. He can go. He can definitely get himself up in amongst those Mercedes cars, but he has not managed it on this occasion. Harry Bix actually is on an outlap right now, just behind him. So Harry Bix thinks he can go faster as well to defend that incredible pole time of a 29.7. I'm not sure what the lap record is around here in a minute.
It's whatever Speed did for pole last time, as LB abandons that lap actually. But yeah, it's whatever Speed did for pole at Tier 1 last week. I think it was a 29.2. I think.
29.2. What does your clock say, Ghost? Because I think mine's bugged again.
My clock says there's yellow flags at the moment. I wish they didn't cover the clock. I should probably change that because you can change that in the HUD settings. Yeah, you can move everything around.
Well, I might have to give that a go.
I think I've already ridden on board with Pommy Alex, so I'll go with Monkey Mafia instead. Actually, no, I'll go with Harry Bix, the current pole sitter. It's still yellow flags. Ah, there we go. I just saw it. It was 20 seconds to go on mine.
Oh, so it isn't bugged then. Okay, the drivers must have been... Well, it's 5 seconds to go on now for me, so it might be a little bit. But we've got the last runs coming in from the drivers then. LB just about gets over the line to start his final run of the session, so he'll be looking to get himself up in the mix and into the 29s.
Sorry to interrupt. Harry Bix was just a few seconds away from starting a fresh lap, but he was just too late. So that opens the door for the likes of LB. If he can get an absolute corker of a lap here, he's going to need to improve by, over half a second to take pole. It's going to take some doing, but if anyone can do it, it is LB.
Man, it's invalidated, so he's not going to find any improvement on his lap time. How about Stingray? Stingray's also invalidated. The other Red Bull of Krauser is just coming through, into the pit lane for Krauser, so that's his qualifying finished. Hartman as well. Here comes Calm Koala. They're looking like they're on quite a good lap actually. 23 seconds as they're coming through the final straight. So this could be enough to put them up in the top 5 perhaps. It's on pole. God. It's a 29.4 for the Calm Koala on his first race with us here in Tier 2. How about Pommy Alex? No, Pommy Alex goes up to 5th. How about Lalo Mad? Is Lalo Mad on a good lap? Yes, they are. Can they get themselves up into the top 5? No, it's good enough for P9 at the moment. So we're riding on board now with, I think LB's made a mistake. LB's made a mistake in Sector 3. So he's out of this qualifying session now. Monkey Mafia into the pits. I think it's just Harry Bix who has invalidated his lap time. So from out of nowhere, Calm Koala, who said in the chat, watch my last lap. And I see exactly why he said that now, as he goes 29.4 and gets pole position for Haas F1.
Calm Koala, do you race with any assists? I'm just asking. Yeah, that's quite a lap from Calm Koala. He puts himself into pole position in the Haas. With the 2 Mercedes just behind. Harry Bix thought he had it in the bag, and then out of nowhere comes the Haas driver. So pole on your debut is not bad at all.
Yeah, certainly so. Calm Koala then taking the top step, the front slot on the grid, even.
Oh, LB has just said he was out of fuel. He was going to be 0.7 up.
That is a shame.
But Tinoz also I saw was about 4.5 tenths up on his previous best, but he invalidated, so he will remain in P7, the championship leader, with his rival in P4. But it is Calm Koala on pole with the 2 Mercedes, just behind in second and third. Madman in P4. Pommy Alex, the People's Champion, a strong P5 for him with LB in P6. Tinoz 7th. And then Vardy in P8, Lalo P9, and Krozer finishes out the top 10 in the Red Bull with everyone else behind.
An all-British top 4. That's a good observation there, Carl.
We do indeed have full wets, it looks like. That definitely doesn't look like intermediate weather.
No, that's definitely full wets. And you could forget everything. You could forget the... qualifying now, because it doesn't matter. The great equaliser comes in. We are on equal settings, of course, for these races. However, this is the ultimate test of a driver's skill, a race in wet conditions. I'm sure we will see maybe 1 or 2 safety cars, perhaps not. It's quite an open circuit here at Paul Ricard, but the drivers are certainly going to have to step up their game and prove who is the mightiest driver in terms of wet conditions. We saw LB dominate a wet race in Hungary. Maybe he can do it again, but he's down in P6 at the moment, so he's got quite quite a stretch to make this work. But wet tyres for everybody, full wet tyres, nobody risking it on the intermediates. I'm not sure what the weather's looking like as we progress through the race, but we are on the formation lap now with Koala leading the way.
Yeah, it's going to be Zuba's already disqualified after impact with Stingray, unfortunately. But yeah, it's going to be a race of attrition, I think, with this rain, as Harry Bix goes for a spin just as I was riding on board. That'll please him. So hopefully he can get the car back in before he gets disqualified.
So free entry from Harry Bix.
Another
disqualified. QB and Hartman. Cold tyres for everyone, it seems.
Yeah, that's especially bad in the rain. And there's another bit of contact up ahead of Harry Bix. Vardy and Lalo both get disqualified. Guys, come on. Keep it together.
This isn't boding well. Lost 6 drivers on the formation lap. I don't know what to say, really. All I can hear is the rain, really. If I ride on board, you can hear the engines. But you can have a look and you can see just how terrible these conditions are. And we're not at full speed yet, so I can't show you how bad the spray is. But we'll have a look on... and you'll have to also have a look on the onboard stream over on Ghost's channel. Just to see how horrendous the conditions are for these drivers. It's not as bad on the game, but in real life... all you need to do is look back at footage on the Belgian Grand Prix from real life, and just to see how terrible these conditions really can be. As our pole man goes for a spin.
Oh dear, that's his second one of this formation lap, I might add. So yeah, this doesn't bode too well for some of our drivers.
No, certainly not.
So this is definitely going to sort the cream of the crop, as it were.
Yeah,
in terms of these wet conditions. I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a wet race, but our drivers are now lining up on the grid for the start of the French Grand Prix. Both cars from the front row spun, so they're having to make their way, ghosting their way through the field to get back onto the front. But I think we are all about set to go. The green flags are out now. We're on to the lights. Where are they? There they are. 3, 4, 5 red lights for the French Grand Prix.
Wow,
and
quick.
We are underway. It was a very quick release, and it looks like Harry Bix has got a fairly decent start, but Koala's got a better launch. As he know, he's dropped way back the order as both the Mercedes jumping now. Pommy Alex and Madman are looking to get involved in the action as well. Pommy Alex loses out to Madman at the minute, and there's contact between the two of them at the moment. It's a Red Bull round as well, and then Koala's looking to go side by side with Madman, Ollie Oliver. The Mercedes pair have got away really well. It's 2x2 back there, as Pommy Alex is under threat from Tinos at the back, but Koala and Madman continue to go side by side through this twisty section of the circuit, and so does Pommy Alex and Tinos. His drivers going side by side everywhere. Now Vardy going around the outside of the AlphaTauri as well, looking to get himself up a place and gets himself into P6 at the moment.
Yeah, Tinos just had a terrible... He went for a move on Pommy Alex, but had an awful exit and was forced to compromise, and Vardy took full advantage. But
Krauser down the inside of Tinos, and very close between the three of them, and they're still side by side through this section, and Tinos goes round, losing out lots of places. He's going to drop all the way to the back.
One wing is into the wall.
One wing is out. One
wing's out.
And it's a Ferrari that's gone with him as well. I think that might be a safety car. Yeah, virtual.
VSC. I think that there might have been contact there. I'm sure we'll find out from One Wing in the chat in a second. But we do have a VSC, which is going to calm things.
Wow. I think Ghost has cut out there or
My controller disconnected.
the
It's fine.
control.
I've got a new one. We're good. We're good.
Oh dear.
Um,
3 seconds back is the Haas car at the minute. The Mercedes have really controlled the start of this race. They look like they got an amazing launch off the line.
so, by the sounds of One Wing in chat, there certainly was contact. Could you let us know what happened, One Wing?
Yeah, let us know what happened. We're waiting for the virtual safety car to come to an end. But a horrible start for the Haas car, who started on pole for their debut races, completely mugged by both Mercedes. Madman got a fairly decent start, as well as Pommy Alex. Vardy up into P6. We'll have a look at the position changes. Stingray up 4 places, a good start for him. Madman and Pommy Alex have stayed where they are. Vardy up 2 places. Krauser up 3 places. As
Oh,
Koala gets
Koala's got a
drive
drive
through.
through for speeding, and he's had a
Oh, and
spin as well.
he's off the circuit at the minute. He's kept it going, not spinning. But yeah, Man and Pommy Alex now move up to P3 and 4, and I think Koala's going on the attack on Pommy Alex here already. He's going to look to go up the inside of the McLaren. They're going to go side by side. I think the Haas has the corner. Yes, he does. He leaves Pommy Alex with no option but to slot in, and I think Krauser is going at it with Lalo and Vardy here. There's a 3-car fight for P6 back here. Krauser in P6 at the moment. Vardy getting absolutely mugged by the Red Bull, and is now under the threat from the McLaren just behind.
Yeah, Krauser went for exactly the same move on Vardy and made it work, and then Lalo tried to get involved as well. I think Vardy has damage from the collision.
Vardy's going really, yeah, looks like he might have damage. He was running very wide. I can't see the damage itself. We'll see if he comes into the pit lane as they come through Sector 3 now. We're just trying to keep an eye on the timing board, see what action is going on the circuit. But let's see what Vardy does. No, he's going out, so he must have just made a little mistake, or perhaps thinks the damage is manageable. But Koala's into the pits.
Between Monkey and Vardy as Koala comes in the pits, as you say. But I don't think there was any damage done. But Monkey definitely hit the back of the Ferrari there. Koala drops all the way to the back, so he's going to need, obviously not a fan of these wet conditions, and he's going to need to put on a fantastic drive for his debut to get back up the grid after this. Tinoz just behind this train as well in P9. Big train for P6 at the moment, and then P5 rather, and then a big gap to the People's Champion in P4. With the 2 Mercedes very high up, and VK trying to put his teammate under pressure at the moment.
Yeah, one thing I can say about Pommy Alex is very consistent, especially in the wet. And he's he's actually catching a little bit. He's staying with Madman, keeping him honest at the minute. But Madman's going to be happy to see that Tinoz is way down the order. But Tinoz looking like he's on the attack on Monkey Mafia. He's looking to try and get past. He wasn't quite close enough to make the move stick into the chicane there. He's going to be trying to find. He's going to be trying to find a way through somewhere, though. Win the rain, you've really got to be as confident as you dare. You've got to find the grip wherever you can find it, really. Go around the outside, or to try and find those traditional, less traditional racing lines if you can, but only if you can make it work, of course. As typically it's just one racing line for everybody, but like we see in real F1, like in Max Verstappen in Brazil, where he went right around the outside of turn 3 on the fully wet track. As there's LB
into the
diving
last
up the last corner, and they're going to go side by side.
Yeah, can LB make the move? It was definitely a dive. He saw the opportunity and went for it, but Tinoz has got the speed. They're going to go round into turn 1. LB's going to have the inside line for turn 2, and he makes the move. Tinoz backs out, but Tinoz back down again for the switchback and makes it stick. What a fantastic move from Tinoz, and LB has nothing to say about that one.
A great move. Saw these two on the podium in Japan, although ever briefly for LB, who lost his race win after the stewards got involved. which saw Tinoz take a win in the sprint championship, and he'll be looking to try and recover in this race. LB all over the back of the AlphaTauri at the moment, trying to find a way through. He's looking up the inside. Is he close enough to make a move stick? Yes, he is. He goes right over the curb, and Tinoz is just going to force him on those less beneficial lines and try and keep him behind and go on the defence. These two fighting it out. Tinoz, of course, the championship leader, to LB in third, a little bit further back from him.
Oh, around the outside. It is still side by side, these two. They're really going for it. This is great racing between the two Red Bull family cars, as LB all the way around the outside of the never-ending right-hander. As they come into the left-hander, LB's got the better line, and he does get ahead of the AlphaTauri. So the championship leader down into P10 with his rival in P3 at the moment, as we've got a Ferrari going very wide. That's Vardy. Monkey Mafia looking to take advantage. There's a bit of contact between them, a bit of wheel banging, but I think Vardy's just going to see that one out as Lalo Mad tries to open out the gap. But here comes Monkey Mafia again. He's using his overtake, but he's braked far too early to try and make that move. I think he backed out of that one, and Vardy will stay in P7 for now.
Certainly so. There's a Ferrari coming into the pits. Like I said at the beginning of the race, I'm not actually sure whether the rain is going to let up. I haven't seen anything for now. Apparently tomorrow at 3 PM the Red Bull car will be launched for the world to see. Thank you, Rick, for your update on the chat there. I'm sure I definitely appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else does. We've got Monkey Mafia on the pursuit of Vardy, who is then being pursued by LB, who is then being pursued by Tinoz, who's diving to the inside, trying to find a way past the Red Bull, not finding it at that particular corner at the moment. He's just got to be patient and try and see where LB makes those mistakes, see where he's quicker, and try and get that placed on. I think Hartmann and Zuber have actually stopped. They may have had some issues during the opening portions of the race, but the Mercedes cars are looking like a completely different team at the moment.
Yeah, they're very comfortable in 1 and 2 at the moment, in the heavy rain as well, so great stuff from them too. LB trying to find a way past Monkey Mafia. Vardy has been all over the track, by the way. He doesn't have the line on, so it's understandable that he would miss a few corners in the wet. But he is managing to keep Monkey Mafia behind for now, as LB tries to get the switch back on the Alpine. It looks like he's going to do it. He's got the overspeed, he's got the overtake. They've both got battery in the tank. They're going to be side by side up towards turn 1. Who's going to get it? Monkey Mafia on the inside. LB brakes very late and makes the move stick.
Right around
brilliant commitment to the brakes from the Red Bull. Monkey Mafia trying to come back, but I don't think he's going to have anything to say.
No, Tinoz now getting the braking all wrong as he takes out one of the brake marker boards. Very lucky not to go into the back of the Alpine car at the minute, but with LB getting ahead of that Alpine car, Tinoz is now going to be even
Alpine
more
desperate. Monkey Mafia.
There goes Monkey Mafia. Ooh.
He's kept it on the track just about, but he does lose the place to Tinoz and loses a lot of time. So he's down to P10, and Tinoz looking to chase back after LB, who's now going to have to find a way past Vardy that Monkey Mafia couldn't.
Yeah, that curb catching Monkey Mafia out, that's done Tinoz a whole load of favours. But Tinoz has now really got to put in the paces, put in the laps to try and get back close enough to LB to start challenging him again. And his pace is looking fairly strong at the moment. LB struggling to catch on to Vardy, as LB has a very, very scary moment out of that fast right-hander.
He did indeed. I was on board at the time. Nearly lost it, but managed to keep it together. And he's still chasing after Vardy. The gap's pretty similar.
Yeah, certainly so. I think... we've got a little bit of a fight going on at the back here with Zuber and Hartmann going wheel to wheel down the main, down the back straight at the minute. I think
Vardy into the pits.
Vardy into the pits as well. So the pit window is coming open for some. Maybe we might see some intermediate tyres. But Hartmann getting past the Ferrari of Zuber.
Is that Red Bull crew putting inters on the Ferrari? They are. Red Bull crew? Ferrari crew putting inters on the Ferrari. Yes, they are.
It's immediate
So
tyres.
is that an early call or is it a genius call? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, riding on
I'm going
board
to
with
ride on
Calm
board.
Koala, yeah. At the minute, it's looking like the weather looks a little bit calmer at the minute, so Vardy might have
It
just got
does.
this right.
I'm riding on board with him to see how he looks. He looks very tentative through turn 1 and 2, but it's going to be the next few corners that we'll see. Oh, he's very wide through there, but that might just be not having the line on. He looks to be okay. He does lock up there though, so yeah, it's unclear at the moment whether it's the right decision. But Harry Bix, crucially, has got himself a 3-second time penalty
Ooh.
for track limits. So does that mean VK will now smell blood for his, I think, his second ever Tier 2 win? We'll have to wait and see. There's a long way to go.
Battle raging on at the back of the grid here. We've got Zuber chasing down Hartman. It sucks when you're at the back of the race, but it's always nice when you've got somebody to race with. So these guys will certainly be getting the most out of their time together at the back, as Calm Koala's making up ground on his teammate QB, who I'm sure won't put up too much of a fight to let him through. But LB all over the back of Lalo Mado, the other debutant of here, as Monkey Mafia is now peeled into the pit lane. We'll see what tyres he goes on, as LB setting up the move. Lalo goes defensive, defends that inside line, and forces LB to try and go around the outside. Lalo cutting the corner just a little bit there. You saw all four wheels go off the track on the off-board shot of the Papaya orange car there, but LB just saying, all right, I'll play your games, I'll slot in behind you, I'll get you on the big straight.
Vardy did look okay on those mediums from what those inters from what I saw, and he has.
Oh, there
Oh my
goes
God,
LB up the inside of Lalo. He gets him as he gets a little bit wrong, but they're going to go side by side. Going onto the straight, it's a drag race all the way to the braking zone. Who's going to be more confident? No, LB's actually got better straight line speed, but Lalo's coming back at him now. So the last of the late breakers, it's a drag race. Who's going to be the more confident? LB just breaks that slight bit later and forces that Lalo to sit behind him. And Tinos now has another car to get past in order to chase after LB, who Tinos for that fight has actually closed up a little bit. And the next car for LB to pass, of course, is his teammate, who we've seen over the season, these two working really well together as teammates. And Krauser
Monkey
even
Mafia down
sacrificing
the
a
inside
point.
of Vardy. Sorry to interrupt. Vardy brakes very late coming into the chicane. Can he get it stopped? He can, but he can't make the move back on Monkey Mafia. So maybe it was just a lap or two too early for Vardy, because he did lose a lot of time to Monkey Mafia on his outlap. And he's now been overtaken by the Alpine. So maybe just a 1 or 2 laps too early. We'll have to see if anyone else comes in.
Oh, in
this
comes
lap.
Tinos.
Yeah,
In the
Tinos in.
pits.
The championship leader takes a gamble, so we'll have to see if that works out.
That's certainly interesting. LB's going to be trying to make up as much ground as he can. I was saying earlier that the Red Bulls have been working really well as teammates together. Krauser sacrificing a point to his teammate at the Silverstone Grand Prix at the end of the race. So when LB gets close enough, I'm sure Krauser will say, on you go, mate, get up there and get some good points for us.
Tinos has come out well ahead of Monkey Mafia, so this might be the changeover lap. We've got yellow flags through Sector 1. Who's that? Is that Lalo Mado? It looks like it. It wasn't Pommy Alex. That's what I was worried about. But unfortunately, the debutant goes for a spin and has to recover back onto the track. But he's still running okay in P7 at the moment.
Yeah, all looks well.
Oh, Pommy Alex has gone! Has he got damage? It doesn't look like it, but Pommy Alex down to P5. Crozer overtakes him. He did have a huge moment there. I didn't see it, but definitely lost a lot of time.
Here comes Zuber and Hartman again. These guys are really having a good day out there at the back of the grid in the minute. Zuber trying to find his way past the AlphaTauri, but not quite managing it. Meanwhile, we've got Calm Koala looking to set a move up on the Aston Martin of Stingray. Not quite going to find it there, but it's going to go to the inside on this this long right-hand corner, and they're going to continue to go side by side down into the next corner. Who's going to come out on top in this battle? I think the Haas has got it. The Aston tries to break later and find that inside line, but doesn't manage to do it. And Calm Koala claims the position and leaves that Aston Martin back in his spray.
LB into the pit. Where's he going to come out? Is it going to be ahead or behind Tinoz? That is the crucial question. He's put on the inters. Tinoz is just coming around the final few corners now. Did he call it a little bit too early, the championship leader?
I don't know. I think he's got this.
I think that the Red Bull's coming out. I think LB's got this quite comfortably as he's coming out of the pits now. It's going to be closer than I thought, actually, but it's going to be LB in front. I think it's going to be so close. Tinnell's got the speed, but he backs out of it. Lives to fight another day, and it was a good decision from Tinnell's. LB has a spin, though. He has a moment. Here comes Tinnell down the inside. And yeah, those warm tyres really helping out Tinnell's. LB tries to hang it around the outside and have the inside for this next corner, but he can't quite do it. He's going to have the switchback move, though, for this next part of the track, but it's not quite going to work. Tinnell's up into P9. Great strategy from the championship leader.
Yeah, certainly. So that was incredibly close, but the lap that Tinnell's had on those tyres was the advantage that he needed to keep to get in front of LB, and he already gained a fair amount of time on him anyway, as he was a little bit back after they were trying to cut their way through the field. But they may yet make up more positions, as there'll be a few drivers who come into the pits. As I say that, Madman Ollie Oliver dives into the pit lane now. So the changeover period is definitely coming. Perhaps the engineers are saying it's time to come in and put some new tyres on, and certainly is that case for Krauser. Pommy Alex stays out. It looked like he came in for a moment, but he's actually stayed out on circuit. How about Lalo Mad, the other McLaren? Is he going to come in as well? No, Lalo Mad stays out on circuit at the minute.
Oh, Tinnell's huge moment. He just about saves the car. How on earth did he manage that? And he stays in front of LB as well. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah.
LB going to be on the attack now, trying to get past Tinnell's again. He's looking for that inside line, but Tinnell's is covering him off, not quite leaving him the space to come through. As Krauser's coming out of the pit lane. He's coming out alongside Stingray, just ahead of Stingray actually.
Oh, Stingray goes for a spin. He has a huge moment. He saves the car somehow just behind. So, heart in the mouth moment for the Aston Martin. Tinnell's now approaching QB, who is yet to stop on those wet tyres. And I think this is going to be a pretty simple move for the AlphaTauri, as they both go a bit wide. So is that going to invite LB up the inside? Not quite. So here comes Tinnell's now.
LB having a little bit
yeah, he did,
out of shape there through that corner there. Tinnell's is going to go look for the inside on QB. Will LB follow him through, or will he be forced to wait? He is going to be forced to wait. Brakes a little bit late, but closes right up to the back of that Haas car. He does not want to stay behind it, as QB goes a little bit wide, jumping over the curb there, inviting LB right up the inside, and that's a fairly simple move. Tinnell's will not be too happy with how easy that was for him.
The two Mercedes both in the pits. VK is going to be held up here. It's a double stack for the Mercedes pit crew, but VK is going to lose at least 3 or 4 seconds. Pommy Alex in as well. Is the other McLaren in? We'll have to wait and see. But where's Madman? He looks like he's going to get VK, I think.
Yeah, he might just get VK. VK, that double stack really detrimental to the Mercedes campaign for racing here. Pommy Alex just out of the pit lane. Lalo coming in as well. They've got that double stack just right. Pommy Alex will lose a couple positions to the Red Bull, at least to the Red Bull of Krauser, as Stingray's now also come in. But Madman is just behind VK, who somehow keeps hold of P2.
Pommy Alex loses positions to Tinnell's and LB. He waited just too long to come into the pits for those inters, and now he finds himself down in P7, so disaster for the McLaren driver. As Monkey Mafia down the inside of QB, by the way, who's shipped another position on those wets. It's time to come in, QB. As Vardy looks for a way through as well.
Yeah, certainly so. Vardy looking for that way through. He's got that inside line. QB running very wide. Those wet tyres are definitely not what is needed at the moment. The two gladiators at the back, Hartmann and Zuber, coming in for their stops as well. They continue their fight together. But the fight we've been watching all race long is Tinoz and LB. Tinoz is trying to catch up to his championship rival. He won't lose too many points on him. He'll still be in the lead of the championship if everything stays as it is at the moment come the end of the race. But more importantly, Madman's got to try and come at these Mercedes now. But Harry Bix has been untouchable this whole race. He's just been in a league of his own, and this is the Harry Bix that we don't always get to see. And I could say the same about VK as well. These two have been the most unlucky driver pairing on the Tier 2 driver lineup, as slews of DNFs and crashes. But as I talk about that, Madman Oliver sets a 42.4, I think it was, for the fastest lap of the race at the moment, and is certainly on the hunt after those Mercedes cars. As of Calm Koala now getting past QB, and QB finally into the pit lane.
Yeah. It is important to note that both Mercedes do have a 3-second time penalty, so at the moment Madman is splitting them in terms of timings. As LB is pushing Tinoz now through the end of Sector 1. Tinoz a little moment as he comes through in towards Sector 2. Here they come onto the big straight. Is LB going to be close enough to make a move? I don't think so. He's only 3/10 behind. Tinoz has got a lot less ERS in the tank. He's only got 50% in the wet, so he's definitely been using a lot. But LB can't quite get close enough to make a move on the championship leader as of yet. LB, of course, in P3 in the championship. He is 14 points down on Tinoz, so he's going to want to get some points on the top two this race, but at the moment he just can't find a way through the AlphaTauri.
No, he certainly
just as I say that, he goes for it. He has to back out.
Very close to the gearbox of that AlphaTauri there at the moment. Madman trying to close that gap. He's keeping VK honest at the minute, but he's not quite finding the outright pace over the Mercedes for now. Krauser actually sat in a very strong P4. That's going to be very important, especially if Tinoz closes up on that Red Bull teammate, because it'll be 2 cars versus the 1. And it doesn't look like Tinoz is only 3.4 seconds off the Red Bull. And speaking of which, the other Red Bull LB looking to go on the attack again, but still quite not close enough. I wouldn't count Pommy Alex out at the moment, because if these two fight hard, Pommy Alex might get back up in front of them. Indeed.
A quick mention, by the way, to Monkey Mafia. I don't want to curse him, but he has had a bout of influenza, so he's going to be very happy to be running in P8 at the moment. So hopefully he can keep it up towards the end, because it sounds like he's had a pretty miserable week.
Yeah, well, wherever Shelley the Turtle is today, I hope he is cheering on his teammate, as he's doing an exceptional job in that Alpine at the moment.
LB, is he going to send it? Sorry to interrupt. No, he's not. He had a look. He tried to scare Tinoz off the road, I think, but Tinoz, having absolutely none of that, holds his line. But here comes LB again, though. He's going to look to the inside. Tinoz isn't expecting this. Here comes LB. Can he make a move? No, he has to back out once more. It's so hard to make moves in the wet conditions. And Tinoz stays ahead for now, but they are catching Krauser very slowly. Actually, no, it's more than slowly. They're catching him quite quickly. So the other Red Bull is definitely going to come into play at some point here.
Speaking of catching up, Madman is 7/10 off of VK at the minute, so he's definitely cementing that P2, but he wants it on track.
Absolutely, and I think as it gets closer and closer to dry, Madman is going to get more and more
Here comes
time
LB
on those
again.
Mercedes.
He's looking for it. He's just so close, but he just can't. He can't quite get it. Tinoz is just covering him off too well. LB 70% ERS in the battery. Tinoz only 50%. Pommy Alex with 90% battery in his reserve. So Pommy Alex really setting himself up to try and pick up the pieces of these two fighting hard.
Absolutely, the People's Champion not out of it yet in the McLaren. Not quite the best strategy from him, but he is looking to make up for it as he catches up to these two. Here comes LB again. He's using the ERS. He looks to the inside. He's not going to dive. But he is going to have the better drive. He tries to get the slingshot switcheroo on the AlphaTauri. He's going to do it. They're both using ERS down towards the long right-handers. Here they come, LB on the inside, they're side by side. Can he make the move? Finally in the Red Bull, they're still side by side. Tinos holding it round the outside. Round they come to the next never-ending right-hander, and Tinos can't hold it. And LB gets ahead finally of the AlphaTauri, and he will be delighted with that, because that is something he's been trying to do for a long time. In this
Tinos
race,
is coming back at him.
Moment. Tinos nearly into the back of him. And LB nearly just lost all of the hard work that he did with Tinos. Couldn't find a way past. He had to react by braking, and lives to fight another day once more.
Pommy still lurking in the background, not quite finding a way through on his rival yet. Madman now 4 tenths off of VK. Have to keep an eye on that timing board. Actually, speaking of, we'll go head over to them now. It looked like they were getting quite close to one another. VK has slightly more ERS. He's not had to use it until about now, with Madman hunting him down for that on-track position. I don't think Harry Bix is going to be too worried unless he's got more penalties than we initially thought. No, it's just 3 seconds for both Mercedes. 3 seconds for Vardy, 6 for Calm Koala, 11 seconds for Lalo Mad, 6 seconds for Stingray and QB, and 10 seconds for Zuba.
Yeah, it's all of the drivers from 3rd all the way down to 8th with no penalties. The top 2 both with penalties, so VK looking like he's going to lose out. But, I mean, look at that gap to Crozer. 15 seconds between him and the podium. So he's going to be hoping for something to happen between VK and Madman if he wants to get his way onto the podium, because at the moment it's the top 3 and then everyone else.
Yeah, certainly so. Certainly so indeed. Pommy Alex still not too far off, but LB has opened up that gap to Tinos a little bit now. He's catching up to his teammate. It's 2.5 seconds now. It was about 3 seconds a lap or 2 ago. So definitely catching up. And Krauser will be the defending. The defender for Red Bull. He's going to be an animal like Sergio Perez as Vardy pulls into the pit lane. Could he be going for another set of inters, or perhaps he thinks soft tyre or slick tyres are now the way to go?
I'm riding on board. Let's see, what do the Ferrari pit crew have? They have a set of inters. So I don't know if this is a scheduled stop or if he got damage. It doesn't look like it. He hasn't replaced his front wing, so looks like a scheduled stop for the Ferrari. He was the first to come in for the inters, so that's probably going to have an impact. But that implies that there's going to be another set of stops for everyone else as well. So it's definitely not over yet, even with these gaps beginning to sort of stabilize a little bit.
Could the late call from Pommy Alex and the Mercedes be an attempt at the one stop?
It could be. It could be. You could be right there, because they're going to have an opportunity here to take those tyres to the end. I think I would have thought everyone would have had an opportunity to do that. I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8 laps. Tinos may struggle. I don't know how long Vardy was on those tyres for. I think something like 11 laps. So is everyone going to have to come in? I wish I could see the tyre percentages, but Pommy Alex had a little bit of a moment there as I was riding on board with him. I probably shouldn't ride on board with him to to make sure that doesn't happen. But yeah, I think we've cursed Pommy Alex more than enough.
Yeah. Another 3-second time penalty for the leader. That's really huge. Detrimental. If VK can't keep Madman Ollie Oliver behind, then this could be a problem for the Mercedes.
It could indeed. Harry Bix, that is a crucial penalty to take, and at the moment it's 6.1, barely 6.0 is the gap to Madman from Harry Bix. And I think it's going to be all on VK to try and keep the Williams behind. But even then, they're both catching the race leader, it seems. So Harry Bix in a bit of a struggle here, and suddenly Madman looks in a good position to try and win this race.
Yeah, certainly so. It'd be a shame for Harry Bix, who's been leading the race since the very first lap. After an amazing start, LB now 1 second behind his teammate Krauser. Tinnels is now about 2 seconds behind LB. Even if LB catches up, I think Krauser is going to be defending like an animal to keep that AlphaTauri behind him.
Khan Koala had another spin. He's reminding me a bit of Koru Khan Koala at the moment. Absolutely ridiculous in qualifying, and then needs to work a bit on race consistency. But it is his debut, so there might be some debut pressures in there as well. It's tough to say on his first race, but yeah, not the debut he would have had in mind after securing pole by 3 or 4 tenths.
I think the team orders are about to turn up for the Red Bulls. I can almost hear Christian Horner saying, "Let LB through," and I think we might just see Krauser pull over, or perhaps they'll be allowed to race this time. But LB is catching and catching and catching, and there it is.
Yeah.
Fernando is faster than you.
Christian Horner intervenes in that one.
As Krauser gets a 3-second time penalty.
Time penalty as well. Oh dear, oh dear. Goes from bad to worse for Krauser. But he's still running pretty well. And honestly, Krauser, he's only 4 points behind.
On the softs.
Oh, hello. I think that's early. That's early.
Yeah, that's very early. It's still raining. The rain isn't really letting up. I think that's going to be a disaster waiting to happen.
I'll ride on board with him. And yeah, he's struggling through turn 1 and 2. He's nearly spun it. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, that's far too early to put on the softs. He went for a gamble. He's not had the race that he wanted. He's gone for a gamble, and I don't think it's going to pay off. He nearly spins again, and this time he does go all the way around.
Oh,
so,
Madman 3 tenths off of VK now. This is a crucial move for the Williams driver. If he can get in front of VK TFO, then he can go on the hunt for the win for this race. A little bit shaky through the exit of the final corner, but he's all over the back of that Mercedes now. He's putting the pressure on, getting all up in the mirrors. This could be a win on the cards for Madman Ollie Oliver. He's just got to navigate and find his way past that Mercedes car.
Keep an eye on those ERS percentages though, Sumo. Madman on 40%, yeah. VK on 90%. So VK's definitely been saving up. He knew this time would come, and he is ready for the Williams. He's ready to defend as they come through now onto the big straight. Can he keep the Williams behind? What an exit that was for the Mercedes. So Madman's definitely going to have to stick behind on this lap. As Pommy Alex just behind Tinnels as well. Calm Koala is round again on those softs, and yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah, certainly so. Calm Koala's race going from bad to worse as Zuber and Hartmann are closing in on him. They're just a corner behind him now, and he's going to drop all the way down to the back of the grid after coming in way too early.
Yeah. There's no positive spin to put on that. He's just coming far too early. But Zach Sweeney in the chat, well, in my chat, he said he's not going to be a very calm koala after that one.
Yeah, certainly so. We're just riding on board. Tinnell's under pressure from Pommy Alex, who's 3 tenths back. Like I said at the beginning of this race, Pommy Alex very consistent on the in wet conditions. I've been sat behind him lap after lap in around Imola trying to get after this man, but he just doesn't make mistakes in a wet race. Touch wood, I don't want to jinx him any more than we already do here in Tier 2, but he's looking good for a decent finish this evening.
Yeah, he is indeed. He's just behind the AlphaTauri. He's been driving well today. I think just a strategical error has cost him really, because he was probably going to be a comfortable P5 until he came in just too late for those intermediates. I think everyone is going to take these inters to the end from here. So Vardy playing the game of a two-stop. He's going to try and make those inters work. That fresh set of inters, and Khan Koala has indeed given up and gone back onto a fresh set of inters.
Yeah, I'm not sure the rain will let up by the end of the race. VK once again catching back up to his teammate. That gap was 6 seconds earlier. Madman probably getting a little bit frustrated. He's used a lot of ERS in his pursuit of VK, and I think due to the poor ERS management, I think he loses the. He may get P2, but he won't get that top step.
Yeah, I think he's going to lose out. The fastest lap currently belongs to Harry Bix as well, so it's going to be 21 points heading Harry Bix's way at the close of this race. If he can hold it together, just six or seven laps, 6 laps to go for Harry Bix to win this race, but it's very close. That gap to Madman at 6.2 at the moment, 6.3. So yeah, it's all to play for.
Yeah, Madman perhaps thinking that he can try and put pressure on VK to catch up to Harry Bix, which then in turn catches him up as Pommy Alex dives into the pit lane.
Oh, okay.
It is looking a little bit brighter. There's some clear skies overhead. Could this be a stop for slick tyres? It is.
It is.
There's a softs.
Oh,
Pommy
that's
Alex
a gamble.
On a big gamble. The rain is still coming down.
I'll ride on board with him. You can go over to the Tinoz Crozer battle if you want.
Tinoz and Crozer, here we go. Like Checo Perez, Krauser will be defending with everything that he's got to keep Tinoz behind. Madman is the one who needs to be on the attack as he's closest to Tinoz. He won't gain he'll only gain 2 points over him so far.
Oh, Alex nearly goes for a spin. He has a big moment, and I think he's made a wrong call.
Yeah.
He's coming around now up towards the closing section of Sector 1. He's keeping the car on track for now. It looks okay. It is brightening up. You're right. He is going to struggle at the moment for sure, but I really don't know. He's definitely struggling. Vardy has passed on those fresh inters already, straight through. So he's struggling. He's keeping the car on the track, but he's very, very slow right now in that McLaren.
Yeah, certainly so. I think if it was going to stop raining, it would do it on sort of the last laps of the race, like lap 26, if anything. Because I don't know, actually, riding on board, there are less and less drops, so we're definitely approaching the changeover period, but Stingray now gets ahead of the McLaren, pushing him out of the top 10.
He's coming too early. He's done what Khan Koala did, maybe a little bit more sensible than Khan Koala. Khan Koala was far too early, but Pommy Alex definitely too early, and he's just losing time constantly to everyone else, and he's going to regret that decision come the end of the race.
Yeah, certainly so. He's thrown away what could have been a good result for him, but you don't quite know, as I think, Ghost, it has stopped raining.
I can't see any drops. There's not long to go, but when is that DRS enabled indicator going to come up on our screens? That is the question. Tinoz still trying to find a way past Crozer, but he's not going to use any ERS. He wants to just stick behind the Red Bull. He knows the Red Bull has a penalty, so he doesn't need to push too hard. But could we have a Lando Norris situation towards the end of this race, but sort of the opposite of what happened to him? Because it's getting dry. Are some of our drivers...
Yellow flag, that's Pommy Alex round.
Yeah, so are some of our drivers going to eke it out onto the inters towards the end of the race? Well, obviously Pommy Alex has come in too early, but is anyone going to take that risk?
I think that was Khan Koala going round.
It was.
Race going from bad to worse. Madman still hunting down VKTFO. This could be an exciting last few laps, especially if that DRS indicator comes back on. Who takes the risk and comes in for dry tyres?
There's 4 laps to go. It's make or break. This is where champions are made. It's these strategical decisions. If you can get them right while everyone else gets them wrong, you will gain amazing amounts of points on your rivals. And it's decisions like these where they can make or break championships, is what I'm trying to say. And if you get this badly wrong, you are going to fall all the way to the back. We've seen that with Pommy Alex already. We've seen Khan Koala do that already. He's into the pits again, but I think he's too far back. Even if this is the right decision to make any progress, it has definitely stopped raining, but the track is still greasy. Are any of the top guys going to come in, or are they going to eke it out to the end? It's so difficult to tell. Madman, by the way, the top 3 are a pit stop ahead of P4. I think we'll see at least one of the top 3 come in, because they've got that time, they've got that opportunity to make that gamble. As they're coming around now, both Mercedes and Madman have chosen to stay out, so none of them coming in yet, but that is a big gap to P4, and they're going to be looking to see if they can utilize that towards the end of this race, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps so. We're going to lap 25 now. No sign of the DS being enabled once again. But I'd hazard a guess that we're not too far from it. Tinnell's still chasing after Krauser down in P5. Not quite getting past him. So Krauser doing his job for the Red Bulls, who are going to be the second highest placed team. But I think that's Koala off again. I don't know how he's kept it out of the wall all these times that he's spun at the moment, but good on him, I suppose. But a race going from good to bad to worse.
Absolutely. It's not been the debut he had in mind, especially after that absolute wondrous lap out of nowhere, and he spun it again by the looks of it. Vardy is into the pits, by the way. He's going to be putting on the soft tyres, absolutely. He's gone for the gamble. Stingray up into P9 as a result. Is anyone else going to gamble? I'll ride on board with Harry Bix as he comes through the final sector. Is he going to gamble? Is the track dry enough? Or is he just going to hold it? I think he'll hold it. Like, if you're in the lead with 2 laps to go, the track is just about drying out, but the DRS sign hasn't come out, you stay out. I think he's made the right decision there. Is Madman going to come in? No, he's not. So none of the top 3 are coming in. It looks like they're going to try and eke it out to the end. There's only 2 laps to go. Is anyone going to make a move here? Vardy already, he's on the softs. Is he catching Stingray? No, he's not. He's gone very wide there. So, yeah, I think the guys who've come in, they've taken a risk, and fair enough to them. But I don't think it's paid off because, yeah, Vardy's losing a huge amount of time and nearly spins it. So, yeah, it's too early, and everyone else is going to stay out and see these tyres through to the end.
Yeah, it's trying to keep an eye on the gap between Harry Bix and Madman. It is well over 6 seconds now, 7.8 seconds.
Yeah. As
I think VK might have something to do with that, as he's perhaps even holding up Ollie Oliver.
It's a combination of the two. It's VK holding up Madman, and also Harry Bix using a lot of ERS. And that gap is now 8 seconds, so it's definitely worked. Monkey Mafia, by the way, into the pits for softs. He's gone for a gamble. He did have a pit stop range to Stingray, so he might as well. If it's not too bad a decision, then he should still stay in P8.
There it is. There's DRS enabled.
There it is.
This could be what Madman needs to get past VK at this moment. But he'll have 1 lap to close that gap. And I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. As VK runs very wide, almost going into the pit lane. He runs so wide. And there's a little bit of contact between Ollie Oliver and VK. Ollie Oliver going to have to DRS But in these conditions, is it going to
Counts.
be a detriment to him? I don't know, but he's going to go on the attack. Sat behind him for lap after lap now. They're going to go side by side through turn one there. Madman is finally going to get past VK, almost forcing him off the track. VK comes back at him into the next corner. They're going to continue to go side by side. Oh, they know VK gets back ahead of the Williams, but the Williams are going to go around the outside in this twisty section now. Will he dart to the inside? Yes, he will. He's going to have find some more grip, and this is not helping.
Oh, VK
As
spun!
VK spun and gets
he's
a
round!
Oh, VK round. I think he's got the gap behind him to
He
stay on the
does.
podium. But that was almost a very familiar trip for VK into Barrier.
Yeah, he's stayed in the race. He's still got his front wing. It's the last lap. He's still going to get that podium. But look at the gap. Madman, 12 seconds behind Harry Bix. And that is going to be a done deal as Vardy gets back past QB. So definitely those softs are the tyre to be on. But it's too late for them to be of any use at all. Monkey Mafia, that gap is too big to catch up to Lalo Mado, I think. So he's going to stay P8. Yeah, I think this is where it's going to end. With Harry Bix coming round the final corner now, and I mean, it's been an absolutely faultless performance from the Mercedes driver. You cannot fault him at all, and it will be Harry Bix's first win of the season in Tier 2. Harry Bix wins the French Grand Prix.
An absolute dominant performance from the Mercedes, and just coming across the line now, Madman Ollie Oliver getting himself into P2 after sitting behind VK's Mercedes for lap after lap, who is going to come across the line to take home P3. This is to be the Mercedes' first double podium here in Tier 2, I believe. As probably one of the first times that Harry Bix and VK as a driver pairing have finished a race together. LB coming across the line for a very clear P4 with Krauser P5. A good showing for Red Bull today as Tinoz, the championship leader, comes home in P6.
700ths of a second from getting past Krauser. Krauser was extending the gap more and more as they came onto the last few laps, and he just about managed to get out of 3 seconds. That is huge. That's a fantastic job from the Red Bull pairing. They've worked as a team fantastically. And Tinoz loses a point as a result. So it will be Madman only 1 point behind Tinoz.
Monkey
going
Mafia
into the next
sets the
race.
fastest
Monkey gets
lap.
fastest lap, huge for him on those soft tyres. Will it stay though? Will Vardy manage to get it? Because he's also on the softs. Here he comes in the Ferrari. What's the lap time? Oh no, 1:25. Never mind, he's nowhere near it. So Monkey Mafia will take home that extra point for fastest lap, stealing it off Harry Bix on the final lap there.
Yeah, and I was going to say a fairly decent showing for Lalo Mado, who Kawano DNF'd in the end. But Lalo Mado, a solid P8, 14 seconds of penalty saw him lose P7, but that's a fairly good showing for the debutant.
Vardy actually ran out of fuel towards the end there. I don't know if QB got him. It was very, very close at the line. I don't know if their penalties were equal, but we'll see on the final standings. Yeah, a dominant performance from Harry Bix as he takes the top step on the podium. So fair play to him. Fantastic race.
Com Koala got a drive-through by 1,000th of a second.
Oh, no way. Unbelievable.
Wow, it's an all-British podium. As
oh dear.
We have Harry Bix, VK and Madman all celebrating. I had a bit of a brain fart there, not going to lie. But Harry Bix then, after a horrible first 4 races to the season, takes the top step, and rightfully so, dominating the race from start to finish. Madman coming home P2, and he closes that gap back down to 1 point on his rival Tinoz in the hunt for the championship. VK draws off the podium, a decent performance with a little slip toward the end, but he keeps that podium. Well done to the Mercedes pairing. LB and Krauser in the Red Bulls closing out the top 5, a great showing from them. Tinos, not the day that he wanted today, but he still leads the championship going into the break. Monkey Mafia, Lalo, Stingray, and Vardy close off the top 10 with QB, Pommy Alex, Hartman, Zuba obviously the finishers, and Calm Koala and One Ring not finishing the race.
Conquala did just about finish the race, but yeah, it was a distant P15, and as he says in chat, not his finest moment, but hopefully we'll see you back again next week, Koala, and back to full strength, I'm sure, because we know you've got that pace from qualifying.
Yeah, certainly so. So going into the break, then Tinnels will continue to lead the championship. The drivers will be hoping to hold form going into coming out of next week. So as I keep saying, won't be back here in Tier 2 for 2 weeks now, as we take a little bit of a break. I think Ghost and I need it. We've had an incredibly insane season, and it's mad to think that that race was the tamest of the first five.
Absolutely, yeah. We really had to. I mean, there was always a battle going on, wasn't there? So
Yeah,
it wasn't dire, as it were. But yeah, it certainly was the quietest of our races so far. So yeah, I think partly, I mean, mostly due to the rain, but also partly people wanting to avoid the shambles that was last week in the Netherlands. It was absolute chaos at Zandvoort. So yeah, it definitely a lot better from our drivers today, and good to see a good race on the board.
yeah, certainly. So I want to shout out Hartman and Zuba, who were having a almost race-long battle at the back, having a little bit of fun there, despite being in a poor position. But after the break, we are going to go back to back to back to back for 4 very tricky technical circuits for the drivers. We go to Japan on the 22nd of February, then heading into March for the whole month, except for the 29th, but we won't talk about that for now. But heading into March, we have Singapore on the 1st of March, Jeddah on the 8th of March, and Abu Dhabi on the 15th of March. So the drivers are going to have to really come into that next stint of the season with their heads in the game in order to come out on top going into the next break, which will be on the 22nd of March. But I think that's all I've got to say, Ghost. Have you got anything more to say?
Um, I don't think so, other than Harry Bix led almost every single lap there. In fact, I think he did lead every single lap.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, flawless performance from Harry Bix, and hopefully we see more of that Harry Bix from now on, because he had a really good race around Silverstone, but other than that, it's been not the best season for him. So to see him on the top step, hopefully will instill some confidence in the Mercedes driver, and we'll see a bit more of that from him as the season goes on.
yeah, very true. So we were gonna. I really can't speak to all the more I speak, the more it gets worse. But anyway, we're going to close out this first 5 rounds of the championship. I want to give one more shout out to our sponsor, Positive Perception Media Design Products. They make amazing GT liveries, the most colourful that I've certainly seen. And they hold a lot of races. I think GT3, GT4. There's probably a lot more as well that they host and create liveries for and have championships for. Um, but I certainly enjoy seeing all the posts that they pop on their socials, so please do go check them out, give them some likes and all the well-deserved credit that they should, well, rightfully deserve. Also go check out the rest of our APPF1 affiliates, AP House, of course, and our fellow commentator Zach Sweeney. And also go check out something new that we're trying, the onboard screen, where Ghost has done his best to try and provide you with onboard footage from as many of the drivers as we possibly can. But now I'm going to cut the rest of this off, and I'm going to say I've been Sumo,
And I've been Ghost.
and we will see you in 2 weeks' time for a trip to the Suzuka circuit. See you next time and have a good break on the 15th of February. See you later.
Bye.